Yeah. Tomorrow morning, I get them a new attorney.
Why are you so afraid to be a lawyer? Were Daddy's expectations really that high?
Oh, please, spare me the psychobabble father bullshit. Dawson and Downey will have their day in court, but they'll have it with another lawyer.
Another lawyer won't be good enough. They need you. You know how to win. You know they have a case, and you know how to win. If you walk away from this now, you've sealed their fate.
Their fate was sealed the moment Santiago died.
Do you believe they have a case?
You and Dawson, you both live in the same dream world. It doesn't matter what I believe. It only matters what I can prove. So please, don't tell me what I know and don't know I know the law.
You know nothing about the law. You're a used car salesman, Daniel. You're an ambulance chaser with a rank.
Hi, I'm Carl Berkovitz. I represent Mrs. Jones over here. My client was... Chair, sorry. About 2 years ago, my client was stopped for a red light. And the defendant just came driving down and for some unknown reason just runs into the back of my client's car. You know, brute honesty. We'll be asking for that from each and every one of you in a few minutes when we have a chance to talk. I only get 3 minutes here. We're suing the defendant for negligence and for some neck and back pain. Now this is not a rollover motor vehicle collision where you look at the property photographs and you think, wow, did somebody survive? What happened? It's almost shocking to look at the vehicles. This is not one of those cases. This is what is commonly referred to as a fender bender. You can look at photographs of this vehicle. There's not a scratch on the rear bumper. You're not going to see any damage whatsoever. Property damage estimate is 0. None. So I want to be upfront with you and this is the only thing I want you to think about in your minds and answer. Are you going to have a problem my asking you for pain and suffering damages in the future on a no scratch, low speed motor vehicle collision? That's what I want you to think about. And so my question is, I'm just looking for a fair fight. I want to know if you're going to have any problem, this stirs up anything inside of you, that my client is not injured. The defense in this case, you're going to hear from the defense, they're going to say my client's a liar, cheat, and fake. So I'm going to ask you and share with you right now that if looking at these property damage photographs, not a scratch, if you believe my client is a liar, cheat, and a fake, I'm going to ask you to send my client out that door without a penny. She deserves nothing. Thank you very much.
You ready?
This is what we've been waiting for.
This is supposed to be a legal thing, okay? Yes, I'm ready. Yes, I'm ready.
Yeah, I think you did a great job. But I would be a problem. You would want me out. because, you know, there's no damage, there's not even damage to the vehicle, there's no, what was the impact? According to you, so far, there's none. You want me out, because I just think it's BS.
Why did you laugh when he said liar, cheat, and fake?
Because he knows how to, I think that's funny, and he knows how to tell a story. I mean, you know, he's pausing a little bit, looking around at people. He knows how to storytell. So, but I think it's baloney.
And Dexter?
I gotta give it up to the OG, to the OG lawyer. Because see, when you came up here, everybody should have took note to that. That was perfect. It's like you've been doing this forever. I sat there, I was all intrigued. Like,
This is my first case.
I can't tell.
My first case.
You're the Anthony Hopkins of lawyers right now when it comes to, you know, that was really good. Everybody should have took note of that. I think probably the closest person that came to your delivery was this gentleman right here. You two guys, if you were on my team, I'm getting off.
But he's my mentor. He's my mentor.
You guys are really, really good. Very poignant, very, very serious. Everything you said, you meant it. You know what I mean? And I love the way you brought the chair in and for description purposes. Remember now, this is just a fender bender, but for God's sakes, she was hurt. You know, I get it. So I was impressed by it.
Okay. And Yodi?
Well, yeah.
What's her name?
You changed her name right now. Willa. Yeah.
No, it's like watching an actor on stage. You know, you knew you had our attention. You took your time dragging that chair over. So you had that attention. You had everybody looking at you like, what's he up to? What's he doing? Like your delivery, you definitely have confidence, but it was a little too slow for me a little bit. I'm like, okay, get on with it, please. What else is coming here? But that's all.
I didn't feel like you sold
Speak
it.
up.
I said I don't think you sold it for me.
Okay.
I thought that you didn't put me in the place of her or of your client. I felt that I didn't really see where she really got hurt. You know, it was like a low impact. I mean, if you had said, you know, something like, you know, sure, there's no damage, but, you know, we're not talking about like steel, we're talking about soft tissue.
Okay.
You know? And so, and the liar cheating thing, that was funny the first time, but not so much the second.
Second time. Okay. Okay.
Okay, I like the props. Thank you for not slamming one of the chairs into the other one. You remember?
Yes, I'll I think you remember too.
Um,
I had it all set up to get the roller cart, and I'm not saying, and I decided not to do
But Sue's gonna
it.
be here.
Okay.
The other things I would think would help the case would be, was there damage to the car in the rear? Were there skid marks? And how many miles per hour was the car judged to have been going? You didn't say any of that. So that would be stuff I like. I do like the thing that the soft tissue, that's a good point.
And one thing I would have added, just briefly, is that I didn't, is I want you, I would have said, I am saying, if you think my client's a liar, cheat, and fake, kick her out of the courtroom. Give me some feedback just on that I would say, kick her out of the courtroom, she doesn't deserve a penny.
It's dramatic. Some people are intrigued by that. So it comes from experience, and it's a way to capture people.
But not everybody can do it.
Yeah. Does it say anything about me?
You feel confident
I'm
in
saying,
someone, yeah.
kick my client out of the courtroom. What does that say about me?
Basically, you're trying to say I wouldn't represent a dishonest client. So if you feel that way, don't.
You agree with that, what he's saying? Anybody?
I wouldn't be here if I didn't believe in the credibility of the person I'm representing.
Okay. Do I gain a little credibility? Is it irrelevant? I get a little trust? I'm saying, I welcome you. It's your duty to kick her out of this courtroom. She deserves a penny. Does that?
Makes sense.
I have confidence in that.
It doesn't really, I don't know, it doesn't really like speak to me.
Okay.
I would respond more to like, I can tell you, I wouldn't represent a liar, cheat, and fake. You know what I mean? And I hope you see that.
Okay, good.
But sometimes you have to be dramatic to get that point across.
Okay.
Kick her out if you want.
Well, I agree with Amy. It was a little bit of a turn-off for me. If you're representing a client, you wouldn't even want to mention like kicking her out, she's lying, whatever. I don't know. For me, I'm more conservative side, so I would prefer more confident in your client, more positive. More confident in your client.
Do any of you think you spend too much time talking about the negatives? Like, how I asked Sue earlier, or how Sue said earlier, she said 20% negative, 80%. Like, let's say Carl said, look, the defense is gonna show you pictures, they're gonna minimize it, there's no damage. But you're gonna hear from my client, her friends, she was hurt, she wasn't having this pain before, regardless of damage or not. She's a human, not a piece of metal. Tell me what you think about that later. Would that have made a difference to any of you guys if he approached it that way?
Yeah,
Yes, I like that.
Yeah.
Making you humanize it,
Yeah.
Kathy, is there any way he could convince you that even though there's no damage, you can still be injured by making an analogy to say like football players or any other injury?
What about an egg carton? When you get the egg from the grocery store, you always look. Everybody always looks to see because there could be a broken egg in there, even though the carton looks totally normal. And is it possible that the car could look okay, but the thing inside, the person inside, is not okay and it's broken?
One thing that you just said struck me because I think of Inky Johnson, that you could be hit, on a football field and have an internal injury and not, I don't know, your bone's not sticking out or something. But I think what Carl's doing is an intro. So he has me intrigued on the intro, but I don't think he would want me as a juror.
Well, that's my point, is it's an introduction, and then in 30 minutes, the judge says, okay, Mr. Berkowitz, now you could get up and talk about what I suggested in my mini opening. See, what I'm trying to do is inflame you to think nobody gets injured, and then I can talk to you. Well, tell me about that. You said it's baloney. I heard you say, you said it was baloney. Tell me more about that. And
could you go right into voir dire so we know how it flows after the mini opening? I mean, you could do it.
Okay, we can do it. We only have like how many minutes? I can do it real quick.
8.
You got it. Goodbye.
7.
Yeah, go ahead. You guys, okay. Okay.
So that we know how it flows from the mini opening.
Okay. The mini opening is just 3 minutes to kind of give you an overview, a preview of coming attractions. That's all it is. I'm not trying to win the case or give you the whole case. You got 3 minutes. So, you heard from the defense and you heard both mini opening statements. They're saying, look at this property damage photograph. There's not a scratch on it, and they want $100,000 for a scratch. You heard him say that. Can you share with me what ran across your mind when you heard what the defense said on this case? About somebody getting injured, there's not a scratch on the bumper. Could you be brutally honest with me? You're not going to hurt my feelings.
I think that a lot of people not generalizing, are interested in making a quick buck, and you can do it. That's what I think.
You know, there are people, I've been an attorney a long time, and there are people out there, that's a great point that you're making. There are people out there to make a quick buck. And there are attorneys out there, you know, you're smiling. What are you smiling about? Sure,
Los 22. Los defensores. It's like people are like chasing those kinds of cases,
Yeah.
you know?
You know, it goes on and it happens. There's no question about that. But my question is, I have to ask you, should I be afraid to have you as a juror on my case, listening to everything that you're sharing with me? And I thank you for giving me that gift, for being brutally honest with me. Should
Yeah,
I
you
be
should
afraid?
be afraid of me.
Okay. And they're challenge trust. Okay?
I don't think that's enough for cause though.
Huh?
I don't think that's enough for
Well, it
cause.
may not be enough, but I'm getting close.
Okay, yeah, you get
I got 6 minutes left.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me more. But I'm not going to say, is it possible? Can you make room? Like you want to get her off the hook. I'm not going to do that.
So how do you shift to other jurors or something?
Does anyone else?
Okay, here it is. A good question. Here we go.
Who else
Okay, here we go.
The same.
Now, here we go. Okay, you've heard everything that she said. How many of you agree with her? Can you raise your hands? It's baloney. She doesn't believe it. How many believe that? Come on, you put your hand up and down. What?
No, I'm not gonna keep it up.
Keep it up. Put it
Oh,
up.
I agree with her. I mean,
So you all
There's no
agree.
damage.
You all agree with her. Share with me why, Dexter, why you agree with her. What is it about what she said resonates with you? Because I've heard exactly what she said. In fact, when my client came into my office, I said, "Show me the property damage photograph." And she showed me the photograph, and I looked at it, and I thought, how can anybody get injured in here? That's the first thing that ran across my mind. So I know what you're thinking. I didn't think of the word baloney, okay? I didn't think of the word baloney, but I wondered what the hell's going on here. Do I want to come to court with her and present a case that there's not a scratch on here, because I know what the defense is going to say. And I've heard of fender benders, okay? Talk to me.
It seems like as the cases go on, you have to be able to prove.
No, stick with, why do you agree with her?
I agree with her because it'd be far-fetched if there's no damage. I mean, I know people who've had fender benders and they just get jerked, and a few days later, their necks start hurting because they didn't even think they were hurt at the time, and then later on, you know, that something gets aggravated. But with that said, I agree with her because if you were to say that, you know, court, people would have doubts. There's no damage.
Would you change your mind?
I might.
Definitely would. You see Mr. Benjamin come out there.
We're putting this on YouTube. Like camera
Robbery, one-on-one.
There's a lot of attorneys here like to hire you, okay? Because you're in it for the money, okay?
Wow.
No, come on. No, but you know, I'm going to ask you one more question. I know you guys are almost done. Okay, can you all say, I'm suspicious, you know, I don't know how it happens, and that's me too. You look at it and you go, how can this happen? So I'm going to ask you a question. Follow up. Can you think of any reasons why most people, I'm talking about in the general population, millions of people, would never get injured? Never get injured in a low speed, not a scratch on the bunker case, but somebody might. Can you think of any reasons? That's good talk to
Pre-existing
me.
condition.
Huh?
Pre-existing conditions.
Or
Age.
Well, why does that make a difference?
Well, like you may like suspect you have something, let's say in your lower back, some of us might, but you don't go check it out. All of a sudden you're hit on an impact, and a few days later you're like, something's not right. I can't move, or what have you. That might have just been lying dormant. It's there, and then you're hit.
Okay. Can anybody think of any other reason? And thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that, a pre-existing condition. Because in this case, my client, you will learn my client did have degenerative disc disease in her neck before this happened. It was on an x-ray, MRI afterwards. She had a pre-existing condition. Thank you very much. Does anybody else agree with what she just said? That might explain why most people would never get injured in the general population, but somebody might. Dexter, do you agree with her?
Yeah.
Why?
Because pre-existing condition, I said age.
Age?
Yeah, age is a huge factor. You may not have been hurt at all, but now you're 56, and you get a good jerk, and the next thing you know, your neck's all hurt.
Okay. Can anybody think of any other reasons? So we got degenerative disc disease. This is what I do in the courtroom. This is what you have a yellow pad, tripod, degenerative disc disease. You write it down in front of everybody. Okay. And you said age, sir. You write it down. You're writing in your opening statement. Okay. Age. Okay. And can you think of any other reasons?
Maybe the car is built really well.
I'm talking about the yeah, okay.
Oh, I know.
Okay, yeah,
But
okay.
no damage showing, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
It could be something that's built, which was my
Okay.
tomb and whatever.
The vehicle, something to do with the vehicle.
Yeah.
Okay, we got 3 now, okay. Can you think of any reasons why most people never, ever get injured? Most be not scratched, but somebody might. Can you think of a reason?
Yeah, she stole my answer.
Okay,
Soft
Yeah.
tissue.
so you agree with her?
Yeah, because it was like I was saying before, that it might be like, you know, the cart might be built like a tank, but, you know, I'm not built like a tank. I have soft tissue. So
We're human beings.
human beings, you
Well,
know?
what-
And so
Is there a difference, are you saying there's a difference between metal and soft tissue?
absolutely, it's like the egg carton theory,
Okay,
you know? It's like,
Okay.
like she was saying, you open the egg carton, you check the eggs, and some of them are broken.
okay. What about you?
Well, my thing with the car could be that I don't think all cars take the same amount of collision before damage. And that is the make and the model of the car.
Oh, good.
For both cars makes a difference.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, and I was starting to write it down and you pointed to me. Whether the person was looking straight ahead or to the side, because that makes a big difference.
Why does that make a difference?
Because the muscles
Tell me more.
are stretched.
Huh?
The muscles are stretched if your head's turned.
And wearing a seatbelt or not, that's
Are you saying, if I'm get this, are you saying it's easier range of motion this way than if it's like this?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes, because your muscles,
Makes a big difference?
your muscles
If it's
are
like
stretched
this,
out
there's no hardly any range of motion?
your muscles are already stretched.
Thank you very much for sharing that, okay? I write it all on the yellow pad and it's right in front of them. Any questions? Thank you for making me do that.
The only question is objection preconditioning the jury.
No! Again, we were in trial. I know you guys gotta go, but I'm not gonna let you go, goddammit. You were in trial. Remember I was doing voir dire? The claims adjuster. And I asked the adjuster, can you think of it, there's no damage on blah, 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 blah. Can you think of any reasons that somebody might you handled 30,000 claims, why somebody, most people never get injured? He says, yeah, degenerative disc disease. The judge goes, you're preconditioning the jury. And the jury goes, no, Your Honor, I'm the one that said it. So you can't say is degenerative disc disease can cause it, because that's leading. Okay, that's preconditioning. You just ask a general question, and they'll give it to you every time. Okay, they'll give it to you every time. And now all of a sudden, well, wait a minute. The defense is saying, look at this, impossible. But, from their life experience, they know different now. Okay? Thank you, guys. Okay? Anything else you want to say? Well, actually, Richard does the goddamn clap. Okay.
He's so good. Can I ask you what school of law this is?
What's that?
What school?
We're not a school.
Oh, no, you got, okay, all right.
We're all lawyers,
You're
yeah.
all lawyers, this is seminar for you guys, basically.
Yeah, we're just practicing.
Take it, no problem, all right, I'll leave.
He wanted to know what law school we were from.
No, I was just, you know, all these all different, you guys all went to different law schools?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Any Ivy League students in here? Damn it, I knew you were gonna.
I didn't go to no damn Ivy League school.
Ivy League
I'm an
law.
attorney, I have to say anything I want.
Oh,
But
okay.
there was ivy on the building.
Yeah.
That's a good, very good answer.
Did you know that Richard back there? I'm not going to kid you anymore. Richard, I'm going to pick on Richard now. Did you know he was the star attorney in My Cousin Vinny?
Oh, you the DA, right?
He died the
I
DA.
say it several times.
I didn't see the movie.
I don't belong.
He wasn't. It wasn't good enough.
No.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
It's a good movie though.
For Ken.
That's a funny movie. What time we got? These guys gotta go.
Yeah, I think it's.
One question, everybody's seen that film, right? Who was the lone Academy Award winner and nominee?
Marissa Tomei.
Goodness. Good job, man. Good
And,
job.
there was a
She was the
confusion about
star.
it.
She was basically the star witness to that film.
Oh yeah, she was good.
Believe it or not, it's actually pretty legally accurate.
Very. I thought it was a very good movie. It's a good comedy.
No, the other one that's also pretty legally accurate for criminal defense is Fracture
The
with
Karate Kid was in that.
Anthony Hopkins.
Ralph Macchio.
Fracture.
Fracture, where he kills his wife.